Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Ben. I'm the RPG Peddler, and in today's checking out, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Normally, I do the very beginning of games if I can help it. However, with this particular game, that being Labyrinth of Galleria, or Galleria, excuse me, the Moon Society, it's actually more advantageous for us to kind of start in the middle of it because it's one of those games that takes quite a while to get started with. So that being said, I am I want to say maybe 4 or 5 hours into this. This just came out earlier this week. It's a first-person dungeon crawler. Got kind of well, before that, it's a follow-up to a game, Labyrinth of Refrain, Coven of Dusk, that came out several years ago, I would say. You can find it on Steam and probably, Nintendo Switch, and of course, this is the Switch version that I'm playing here. Yeah, pretty interesting games. It's very anime heavy, so if that's not something you enjoy, then you may not like this very much. But I will say, I'm a big fan, despite having not completed the first game. I want to say both of these games are set in the same universe, but not necessarily direct sequels. Could be entirely wrong. Look it up for yourself to find out for sure. But either way, I think you can still enjoy the story. And let's go ahead and just check out some of the gameplay here. And one of the primary features here is, it kind of ties into the narrative itself, is you're in both games, basically, you are exploring labyrinths, which is the first-person dungeon crawling part, as something that's not yourself. So you're basically like, you're a medium for a spirit that goes around with these little puppet soldiers, which sounds stupid, but once you see it, it's kind of cool, that goes into these places where humans can't because basically they'll die. So it's like very dangerous places, and this basically the same for both games. So you have these puppet soldiers that act as your party, and while I think I currently have 5, you can actually set them up in these brigades or these covens, and you can have up to 3, I want to say, in each coven. So technically, what is that? Oh my gosh, I've forgotten how to do math. That's 15, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Yeah. It's been a long day, but you know what? It's a Friday, and it's a good day. But anyway, yeah, so you can eventually have up to 15 characters, I want to say. And of course, you can do Vanguard or Rear Guard and all that stuff. Decent amount of customization involved. Different classes you can pick your characters to be. Of course, at the puppet workbench, you can make these. These are all the puppets, which they obviously don't look like puppets, but you can kind of select between them and make male and female versions, different colors, all that stuff. Pretty in depth, to be entirely honest. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into some of the dungeon crawling here, because that's what I'm sure you're here for anyway. But while this is loading, if you like this kind of stuff and you are interested in RPG content in general, consider subscribing. It's going to be a whole lot more. Currently have a couple of Let's Plays up to the channel, and every 3 days I try and mix in one of these checking out games or checking out episodes, rather, where I just kind of pick a random RPG and play it, talk about it a little bit, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah. Either way, I appreciate you stopping by. We got into a fight. Of course, this is a pretty trivial fight because I'm already... Oh, massive critical hit. I've already been in here quite a bit. But as you can see, first-person dungeon crawling, walk around. The enemies kind of show up as these weird spherical things. You eventually unlock stuff like a wall breaker, where you can bust open walls and go into different places. I will say this is probably... I literally saw the poison there and went in it anyway, so that was kind of dumb. But it'll eventually subside. But yeah, that's something you shouldn't do. But what I was going to say was, I would say this is one of the more, in some ways, challenging, or not necessarily challenging, but kind of old school dungeon crawling, where although you have a map that kind of populates as you go. Oh, see, I almost just fell because I'm not concentrating. Like, if I would have fell down there, there was a good chance if I didn't land on solid ground that I'd fall like 3 or 4 floors down and instantly be dead, and then your game would be over. At least at this point in the game, you cannot save in dungeons. You can suspend the game. You can do a quick save, but... So basically, if you go to the depths and you fight a tough enemy, you know, you're just kind of screwed, you know, like if you can't take them down. But there are ways around different things, and you know, not all is as bad as it seems. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting game. And I guess we'll go ahead and fight this guy. Again, going to be pretty simple. Because, oh, got a couple of bonus damage from resonance. It's nice. And this mana you get is another thing you got to keep an eye out for. Because not only is it a currency for you to use back when you're at your base, basically, it also increases the item drop chance. However, the caveat to that is certain floors have mana limits, and if you go above the limits, then weird things can happen, like Grim Reapers can spawn. But you also have the opportunity to fight some very experienced dense enemies, so it's actually a good way to level up too, so long as you don't run into one of those really nasty enemies. So there's kind of a trade-off for that, I guess you could say. But yeah, as you can see, other than that, it's kind of straightforward gameplay here. It does have a lot of depth though. And again, I probably wouldn't recommend it to, you know, just the most, like as an entry-level dungeon crawler. Something like Saviors of Sapphire Wings would probably be better for something like that, because this does have some complexities to it. Let's go ahead and fight this. Yeah, I want to say this is about a 40-hour game, so I'm still very, very early on into it. Ooh, that was a massive critical hit.
Huh? Did I grow taller?
And I've certainly only seen the bare minimum of what the game has to offer. But like I said, I was a fan of the original despite not finishing it. And I was very much looking forward to playing this one. And I want to say it's reviewed pretty decently as well, at least for, you know, an obscure dungeon crawler. Or I guess, you know, it's kind of a... When you think about it, dungeon crawlers are kind of a lost art. And that's kind of makes me sad, because they are fun. You know, you used to see a lot more of them. That being said, there is one coming out recently, coming out here in the near future that I'm really looking forward to, which is Labyrinth of Zangetsu, I believe. I want to say it's made by the same people that did Undernauts, and that is probably my favorite. Oh no, we'll be fine. It's probably my favorite dungeon crawler of all time, and actually, now that I'm thinking about it, probably would be a good, if you're looking for something, if you're looking for a dungeon crawler that is still accessible but does offer a pretty decent challenge, that's a good one to do. Because Saviors of Sapphire Wings is on the easy side for sure, and it's pretty bare bones. So, yeah, definitely recommend Undernauts for sure. One of my favorite games of all time, probably. But anyway, yeah. So I want to say that should be good. That should kind of give you an idea of what to expect here. Again, I'm pretty early on, and you know, I'm sure as more time goes along, there's more complexities added and all of that stuff. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. And like I said, this is the Nintendo Switch version, also on Steam, probably other platforms as well. So hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, give it a like, consider subscribing, and I'll be back with more soon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.